Here we are. It's Friday. I have to shave. Oh, man. Can I go back to bed? Mm. I'm just gonna do this. You guys can interpret the show. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Friday, January 3rd, 2019. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. I'm sick. Definitely sick. Yesterday morning, I felt like maybe I was getting sick. I'm certainly sick. Did not go to the gym yesterday, so I'm all restless. I'm supposed to have lunch with a friend and then dinner with another friend. I don't think I can do either. I don't think I should be around people. I mean, I'm not that bad, but, I don't like getting other people sick. And it's funny because if I cancel those plans, my day goes from kind of busy and a lot to do to I'll be done with work at 11 a.m. Maybe noon. Oh well. We'll figure it out. Always do, right? So what was yesterday? What did I do? The big thing here's the big thing that I did. One of the things I like about First Cup is that there is a dedicated group of you who watch, and I can be really open. I can be honest. Even though this is a public format, I can share things because I know everyone's not going to see it or hear it. I had this realization through the Christmas season that we have far too much apparel. And because of that, it takes too long to dig through. And I needed to fix that. So over the last week, I've been collecting notes from myself of how to better handle the apparel. How many t-shirts do we really need? Well, if we rotate them periodically, we need fewer, right? How many hats do we need? How many shoes do we need? And I went through everything we had, and I took a look at what made sense. I looked at prices. I looked at, one of the other things I looked at, we have a decent following in Europe, and our apparel supplier has a European print house. But a lot of the items that I chose weren't stocked in their Europe facility. So I went back and made sure that as many of the items that we were using were stocked in both locations, right? So I built this spreadsheet and started fleshing it out. And I'm really excited for the new year because what this means is apparel is going to rotate on a schedule. When we post something, when we make a new design, you're going to have a limited amount of time to buy it. And we're going to post that. We're going to let you know you have until X date to do this, to buy this. And then something new is coming. So I'm excited for it because it allows us to focus our attention a little bit more on the apparel and see if we can make it a more profitable segment, because for 2019 I'm not gonna say it broke even because it more than broke even, but it was 1% of revenue. Well, 1%. No, that's not right. I'm not sure what it was. It was certainly under 5% of sales. And I'd really like to see it be, 20 or 30, because it's a lot harder to be out of stock of stuff that's printed on demand. So that was the big thing I did yesterday. That I watched some TV. Not shot really that big. I thought about taking a nap. Didn't take a nap. Yeah, it was a really exciting day. Today I have a phone meeting with someone who is helping me put together. We are going to collaborate and build a at-home, no equipment needed, martial arts strength and conditioning program. there are things out there. Most of them are either too simple or too hard. And I've got ideas for how to do something that will work for everyone, regardless of where they are fitness wise. And I'm excited for it. I know we got some questions in here. Let's talk about them. If you want to ask a question, drop it below. I'll answer it Monday. Here's Frank's joke for Funday Friday. Did you hear about the man who stole the calendar? He got 12 months. Oh, dad jokes are the best. What do you think is the opposite of a martial arts lifestyle? Of course, yesterday's episode was about living a martial arts lifestyle. My thoughts on how to take mindset and training out of your training space and into the world and into life and sharing it with others. So let's see. If a martial arts lifestyle is about looking for avenues of personal growth and treating people with respect and that, then I think the opposite of a martial arts lifestyle would be selfish and abusive, indifferent to the pain or discomfort of others. I mean, really, I think you're just lining up a bunch of negative adjectives and verbs. I think it's an extreme that I don't think we're going to see a lot of people get to. I mean, we know that even though most people in the world don't train, they're still open to living a better life. They're still trying to improve things. They're still trying to get better in certain ways. The opposite of a martial arts lifestyle would be staying rigidly where you are and maybe even getting worse. You know what's coming to mind? It's the idea is what would a childish bully grow into if they were not only unchecked but encouraged in that behavior? They would steal. They would lie. They would initiate fights. They would be miserable. That's the visual that's coming to mind. The idea of someone not living a martial arts lifestyle, someone living the opposite is living a bullyish lifestyle. Interesting. I hadn't thought of that until just now. Oh, one thing we're not taking down is the first cup mug. So you can get your first cup mug at whistlekick.com, because if there's one mug we have to keep, it's the first cup mug. I think right now we have 4 or 5 mugs, and I purged, I think, 3 of them yesterday. We may do a different mug. We might, change up the colors or something on this, but this is what we got for now. Yeah, I think that's a fair and complete answer. Next. The term lifestyle can have some rather materialistic and even shallow connotations to it. Have you ever considered the phrase martial arts philosophy? Interesting. Yes. And I'm not saying I considered the word philosophy, but I did consider other words beyond lifestyle. Martial arts culture, martial arts living, martial arts. Honestly, I don't remember all of them now because I'm still waking up. But lifestyle seemed to make sense. despite the suggestions in the question, the idea that others often think about a lifestyle as stuff and having some negativity to it. But here's why. There's no other word that I could think of that indicated this aspect of taking martial arts training out into the world and utilizing it. Because if we talk about philosophy, you can consider it, you can contemplate it, you can write about it, you can talk about it, you can share it. But are you doing it? Are you living it? Are you being that person that you're training to be in your classes? And I think the answer is no, you might not be. I think there's plenty of opportunity to know things and not do them, and thus not be living those principles. So we could say, yeah, martial arts philosophy, but you have to live that philosophy. You have to embrace and share. Still, it needs to be more of a ownership, a verb around ownership. The philosophy exists whether or not you live it. I think it's a good way to think of it. And if you ignore it, what's the point? I think this becomes important. I think the idea of identifying what kind of a lifestyle you lead and what's important about it, because it's something we don't generally consider. We talk about aspects of our lives and what we do, our job, our friends, our home, our recreation. But those all piece together to form a lifestyle. And there are likely trends in your life. For example, there are people who are lazy at their job and they spend a lot of time on the couch watching TV, and they are not physically active. And you can see a thread of laziness or indifference throughout their lives. Is there a root cause of that? Probably. There are other people who are the exact opposite. They have a very intense job, and they work out 7 days a week, twice a day, and they never watch TV because they don't have time, and they never get to relax. Is there a reason for that? Probably. So I think if you step back and you consider the entirety of somebody's lifestyle, you start to see some of those patterns and why maybe they're there. And if you see them, you can change them. One of the big patterns in my lifestyle is that I tend to live a fairly solo life. There's a good chance that I don't leave the house today, and that I don't physically see another person. That's not abnormal for me. It's something I recognized a couple years ago, and I've been working to change it, so I make more social plans. But it's still the instinctive place that I go, especially if I'm sick, like to hole up and not be around other people. And if we talk about the materialistic aspects of the term lifestyle, if you look around my home, you see swords and medals from tournaments and pictures of me and trophies and Ninja Turtles shot glasses. There's a gi on my table, right? Like, martial arts stuff is just around because Stacy says books. Yes, there are martial arts books in the bookcase back there. Living a martial arts lifestyle means martial arts things. And When I shop for clothes, I make sure I can move in them. It's a little stuff like that. So yeah, it does enter into the materialistic aspects, but I don't think that's an accident or bad. I think it's part of it. It has been said, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Fred DeVito. What do you think? Hmm. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. I would agree. Can we find exceptions? Yes, but I think overall, it's true. A lot of people are resistant to change, but what's interesting is you can't have progress or growth. You can't have improvement without changing things. And I found this fascinating because I posted something on my personal Facebook page a couple days ago asking what people were hoping to change in 2020 or what they would change from 2019. I forgot the specific format of it. But a lot of people wrote in to say that they didn't want to change anything. And I found that mind blowing. That even in a hypothetical sense, quite a few people had no interest in improving their lives. Now, I know if I sat down with each of them and said, okay, so your job is perfect, and your financial situation is perfect, and your health, and your circle of friends, and et cetera, right? And I'm sure that they would agree, no, they weren't. But quite often people get bogged down in what they think is possible and what they think they deserve. So this idea that things can improve is lost to them. So they don't put themselves in front of challenging things and thus don't reap the benefits of change. One of the things I've found interesting about myself as I've gotten older is that my openness to change has grown. And that's not typical as someone ages, right? Usually it's people in their teens and their 20s who are, you know, more flexible, and then as people get older, they get more stuck in their ways and curmudgeonly. And I feel like I'm doing the exact opposite. Whether it's books or podcasts or through doing shows, I feel like I'm constantly shifting. And not all of it's big, but sometimes it's big. And I'm really proud of myself for that. I'm willing to undertake challenges, lots of challenges. My life is full of challenge. Some of it I would like to remove. But I know that even through those challenges that I'm not so fond of, good things have happened and will likely continue to happen. So I face them as best I can. There's a saying that I read or something back in my 20s. Nothing worth having comes easy. Should probably be nothing worth having comes easily if we want to be grammatically correct. But I believe that to be true. And it doesn't mean that there aren't good things that happen without a lot of work. But if there isn't a lot of work, where's the value? Lottery winners tend to go broke within a few years because they didn't earn the money. And there's whole aspects of psychology dedicated to understanding that. And what does it come down to? On some level, they don't feel they deserve it. They didn't earn it. Challenge is good. Challenge can be too extreme, it can be too often, it can be too light and too infrequent. And like anything else, finding a balance is good. And for a lot of us, martial arts classes where we experience a lot of challenge, challenging techniques, challenging forms, sparring with others, memory, personalities of other people in the class. Facing them, finding ways to work with them or around them, it's how we get better. It's how we become better people. Yeah, I think it's a good place to call it. It's the weekend, so no homework. But if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed and turned on notifications, please do, because we do this show every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. You can ask questions by dropping them below or emailing me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. But we also have a lot of other stuff. We've got martial arts radio, and we've got other content that posts periodically, and we've got other shows that we're working on. So there's more. There's always more. Stacy says, feeling better is my homework. Tea and honey and rest. Oh. Yeah. I'm working on it. Yeah, that's all I got. I didn't tell you what's going on this weekend, so I'll just tell you on Sunday what I did, or on Monday what I did. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you take care. I hope you're not sick. And if you've been looking at any of the stuff at whistlekick.com over the last couple months and said, oh, I'd like to buy this shirt or that hoodie or whatever, do it now, because everything up there will be getting replaced. Everything, except for this mug. Everything will be getting replaced over the next couple weeks, and there is no rhyme or reason to what's getting replaced. So it's on you to get that done. All right, take care. Peace.